Shreya Pattar is a freelancer who started in the online world on LinkedIn. She is actually best known in the social media world as the LinkedIn girl. She has more than 115,000 followers on LinkedIn. Shreya knew ever since she was little that she was going to be an entrepreneur, exactly like her parents. In fact, her earlier postings on LinkedIn were all about Shreya's dad's business advice to Shreya, and the world couldn't wait for the next thing that Shreya's dad had to say. Shreya, welcome to my show.
Thank you so much, Dania. That was such a nice introduction. Thank you.
So you're now a brand name in the online world. You make a full-time living at it, and you are present not only on LinkedIn, you have a huge following on Instagram, Twitter, all the major media platforms. So could you please tell us where did you start, and what was your journey to arrive here?
Yeah, sure. So I started posting content on LinkedIn, as you said. So it's been over 3.5 years since I've been using LinkedIn. And I happened to come across it mostly by chance. So I just moved to Dublin at the time. I'm from Mumbai, India, and I just moved to Dublin for university at the time. At an event in college, I met the CEO of LinkedIn, Jeff Weiner, and I just put out a small LinkedIn post on about just meeting him and the conversation we had. And the next day it went viral. Like, it had over 1.5 million views, and lots of comments, lots of likes, and lots of messages from people just asking me if I could write for them as well. So that's how I started freelancing. That's how my online journey started, from LinkedIn, just realizing that, okay, this is a good place to be in. People can find me, people can know me by my writing style, by whatever content I put out, and I just stuck to it. And yeah, here we are.
You went to Dublin to study English literature, right?
Yes.
But this was not something that you thought you will study. When you started applying, I think for universities, you applied for, I think it was medicine,
Yeah.
so how did you, can you take us a little bit back to before university? How did you decide to go there? I'm a parent, and sometimes I see I question the role of colleges nowadays, but you're an example of somebody who made the best out of the college experience. And you had projects that you did there. Could you please talk about that experience in college?
Yeah, I mean, now that I think of it, everything can be learned online. If you're not doing something like medicine, like in my field, especially freelancing, content creation, marketing, these are all things that you don't really need to go to college for. But in my case, college was important for me because that's where everything started. So, that LinkedIn post that went viral, that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't in college at the time, if I wasn't meeting the CEO of LinkedIn. I would have probably figured out something else in some way, and I would have probably ended up freelancing anyway, but it would have been a very different journey. And also, just I think when I chose my college, I also looked at that point. I studied in Trinity, and it is known for being very entrepreneurial. A lot of students have started their own businesses, launched their own startups, built $1 million companies, built companies that have received a lot of funding and recognition while they were in university. So I think I knew that before stepping in, that okay, this is a place where not only will I study my core subject, but I will also have the opportunity to explore, if not do it myself, at least to learn from other people, and have that inspirational energy and that entrepreneurial vibe around me. And that's exactly what happened. Just those opportunities, they kept coming up, and I was just like, okay, let me try it out, and it worked out. And yeah, I actually did want to be a doctor first. When I was in high school, so we had the system of up to 10th grade, and then in India we have 11th and 12th, which is high school, and then you go to college, which is a 3 or 4 year college. So I took up science in high school, hoping to pursue medicine later on. But it didn't seem right for me. And to my surprise, actually, I think my parents knew that before me. So my parents were mostly like, "Oh, you want to study literature? Like, why didn't you think about that before?" Because I think they knew it, but I just didn't realize that they knew it, and they never said anything. So yeah, so that's how the shift happened. Just realizing I didn't want to do that somehow.
Um, and then you went to college, and it was not just that LinkedIn post that went viral. You described that you did projects before, you tried, you are not afraid to fail. Could you please take us a little bit through that journey in university that it culminated with that post on LinkedIn and your courage to go up to the CEO of LinkedIn?
I don't really know what happened that day, why I like he was just there and he was still waiting. I took a picture with him and he was still there. And I was like, this person is not running to his car to go away. So I was like, okay, let me just go up and talk to him. And I don't know what I was thinking. I don't even think I was thinking anything at that point. I just went up and I spoke to him. And this was barely my first month being in Dublin. So I had not had that college experience yet. We were just enjoying Freshers Week and getting settled in. I was finding it too cold, so I would normally not even go to anything outdoorsy. But because of that, that was my first post on LinkedIn. I had never used LinkedIn before that. So yeah, just the way it worked out. I don't know what I was thinking, but I went up and asked him, like, I'm a student. I don't know what to do with LinkedIn. I'm not looking for a job. So what do I do? Like literally, this is what I asked the CEO of LinkedIn. What do I do with this thing you have? So yeah, we had a nice conversation. I think people still think that he gave me some secrets of how to create a viral post. That's not what happened. But yeah, that's how it started. And because of that viral post, I think I then started posting more on LinkedIn. And after a year or so, people started recognizing me in college. So they would just stop me and be like, hey, you post on LinkedIn, right? I saw your post. It was so good. And they probably don't know my name. I don't know who they are, but they just recognize me by my content. And I was studying
Became the
arts.
LinkedIn, sorry, you
Yeah,
became the LinkedIn girl.
yes. I mean, I find it so nice because it just became a thing. I don't know. Suddenly people on LinkedIn started commenting like, hey, you're the LinkedIn girl. And I was like, okay, this has a nice ring to it. I'm going to use it. So yeah, that's how it started. People started recognizing me, and I was studying arts, but I used to spend so much time in the business school because they used to have all these workshops about launching your own startup or personal branding, all these networking events where you can meet investors. You can watch pitches by the students. So that's what I did in my first year. Just watch other people do it. And in my second year, then I went up with my own idea. I pitched my idea in front of an audience. We had multiple selection rounds, and I was the only solo founder team that made it to the finals. And I just remember, there were like over 400 people in the audience at the finale thing, and I was not expecting to have my name called up, but I won. So I won second place at the event. And I just remember I screamed so loud, and I was a bit embarrassed after that. I was like, okay, that was not necessary because everyone was staring at me, but I was just not expecting it, and I was so happy. So yeah, that gave me the push that I needed to just show up on stage more, be more comfortable with these out of the box ideas that are beyond freelancing, that can be a business, an actual business that I could pursue. And yeah, I just it's been a great time, great journey.
Wild ride.
Yes.
And you actually graduated 1 year ahead of the time you're supposed to. So you're a high achiever.
So in the fourth year, so we have a 4 year course in Trinity. I didn't really know that you could graduate at 3 years, but I was planning to email them saying, okay, I want to leave college. And they said, okay, you can get a bachelor's instead of a bachelor's honors. So I'm not really getting the full degree as such, but I'm getting a bachelor's. So I was like, okay, that sounds good. Yeah.
It's good enough
Yeah.
for you for now. So you are a brand name in the online world. Lots of people know you. Um, so for my viewers who might not be as versed into the online world, what is a personal brand and how does it help you to have an online business?
So I just had a spaces and I was asked this question and I think I had a fun way to describe it. So all those those American Hollywood high school movies, right? Like let's say Mean Girls, they have these three main characters, like these three women who are the face, like the popular girls in the school. Everyone knows them. They always look very like they look similar every single day. They probably wear pink outfits. They're always well dressed, and everyone knows them, right? Everyone knows who they are, how they are, and that's how I see a personal brand. So you decide what impression you want to create, what you want to be known for. So they're probably known for mean things. I'm not sure, but yeah, you can be known for good things. So you pick like 2 or 3 topics, like I pitch freelancing, LinkedIn, social media, these kinds of things. You pick 2 or 3 topics, you talk about those things, you show up, basically as somebody who is an expert in those particular topics and you're good at it, you're able to talk well about it, you're able to add value to people's lives in that context, and you become the popular kid in that in that particular space, then that's personal branding. And one of the best ways to do that is content creation, or even in your case, like doing all these interviews, you're building a personal brand on YouTube, you're becoming known for doing this, for having good conversations with people and bringing people up and sharing their stories. So yeah, one of the ways is to create content and just decide what you want to be known for.
You say is giving people a lot of content for free to establish yourself as an authority, helping people basically
Mhm.
online, right? And how do you decide what content is for free and what you keep for paid content?
I think content, you don't really need to plan as such. I don't have a strategy that I'm hiding anything for, content that would be paid. One of the main differences between free and paid content is that free content is scattered, whereas paid content, like let's say an ebook or a subscription based, blog post or a membership, that would be much more step by step. That will probably be a guide. That will be something that you can read to understand what to do next. Whereas free content will probably give you a broad idea. Okay, when this happens, you do this. When this happens, you do this. So let's say one of my ebooks is about freelancing. So that has a step by step of, if you don't even know what skill to freelance in, that ebook will show you how to go from picking a skill to finding your first client and making more money. So that's the ebook. But also on Instagram, I create content for freelancers. So you could say that everything on Instagram, if you piece it together strategically, would probably form my ebook. But that's the difference. People are paying because this is easier to consume. It's organized, it's strategic, it's something that is actionable. You can just instantly read it and start implementing it. And I think another thing I've noticed is that free content is usually also much more vague, broad, in a sense that you're not explaining too much about a particular thing. In an ebook or a course, you can dive deeper because somebody who's bought it has full interest in learning more about it. Whereas, let's say if I'm talking generally about how you can price your services, that's really broad and anybody can benefit from it and they can hit follow if they are interested. So those are a few differences I would see, but you usually don't need to protect your content. That's okay.
I like that. What is your favorite platform to be on? You are everywhere right now. what is your preference aside from LinkedIn, which I assume it comes natural to you? Or
Mhm.
what are your other preferences? You find it's easier or more fun, or
I like Instagram a lot. I love doing the Q&As on stories. I love making reels whenever it does take a lot of effort, but whenever I do make them, I'm really happy with how they turn out. I love anything that allows me to interact with my audience, and especially on Instagram stories, there's so much opportunity with like Q&As, quizzes, polls. Just it's a fun way to get more information, to do more research about their pain points as well, and to interact with people and build that personal connection with them. So I love doing that. I like Twitter also now, which is why I'm spending more time on it. It does not come naturally to me because it's very short form content. I'm not used to it. So it's taking me some practice to write short form content, but it's a fun space. Like I think it's more chilled out, and I can talk about like my dog and my food and, everyday things that I never talk about on LinkedIn, and I don't talk about much on Instagram. So Twitter is more of a chilled out space, I think.
although I saw on Instagram you posted a short video with your dog, who's so cute, by the way. What's his name or her name?
His name is Harvey. There's a
Harvey.
show called Suits in which there's a lawyer, Harvey Specter. He's very intelligent, very classy looking. So we really like the character at home, so we call him Harvey.
He really looks classy, your dog.
Thank you.
um, so you are very outcome oriented. I heard you saying you like to try things, uh, and what sticks sticks, what fails fails. At least you want to know fast what
Yes.
works and what doesn't. And with that in mind, I see you doing a lot of spaces and interviews right now. What is the outcome you want to achieve out of doing all these spaces and interviews at this point in time?
That's such a good question because I didn't do a lot of podcasts. So when the pandemic started, when the lockdown started, I was doing tons of these just because I think everyone had a podcast coming up. Everyone wanted conversation. So I think everyone was doing it. So I said yes to anyone who asked. But I didn't do enough last year, and this January I was like, okay, I should get back to it. I don't know why. I right now like I know I booked like 7 podcasts this week. I don't know why. I can't think of it. Last night I was wondering why am I even doing this? But I think one of the reasons is because uh, I work by myself a lot just because I'm a freelancer. I don't really go outside. And this is such a good way to connect with people, to learn about them, to have interesting conversations. That's one side of things, to, just disconnect from the fact that entrepreneurship can be lonely, freelancing can be lonely. And then you have all these internet conversations that I probably would never have taken up if I didn't have, like podcasts and interviews to go to. And another thing is that your audience or your viewers are different from mine. So if like, even if you have 10 listeners, I go on to those podcasts. Like if people invite me, I will usually say yes. I don't really, you can have 10 listeners or 1 million, either is fine. But I hope that, anybody who listens to your podcast or your interviews can also get value from it. So they don't have to follow me. They don't have to, know me, but just if they can get one piece of advice, if it can inspire them to start their journey, I would love for that to happen, because I know how life changing getting on social media in this capacity has been for me. And when I started, almost like nobody was talking about these things on Twitter. Yes, but I wasn't on Twitter, so nobody was talking about LinkedIn. People still don't take LinkedIn seriously in terms of like building a business. Nobody was talking about personal branding or freelancing, especially in India for Indians. So I'm really hoping that can change. And I hope these interviews are a way of doing that. I don't have any other strategy in mind for doing these.
This is wonderful. So you are present on social media every day, I would say, and us as parents, we are afraid of our children spending too much time on social media, and we try to limit that. And you are an example of how to use this social media in a beneficial way to change one's life and other people's lives for the better. You are such an incredible example. How much time do you spend on social media every day?
A lot of time, at least like 3-4 hours a day for sure. But I take about like 1 or 2 days, I take completely off. I just started doing that. Like 1 or 2 days a month, I won't be found anywhere, just because that break is also important. So yeah, that's how I do it.
You write a lot of ebooks. You mentioned in another interview that you have 12 ebooks on lined up, the
Yeah.
outline for 12 ebooks, 43 reels that you cannot wait to shoot and provide more content to people. So you have a lot of work, but at the same time, you said, I don't like to work too much. So how does that work for you?
Because yeah, I have this mental conflict with myself, especially on nights when I can't sleep. This is just, two sides of me fighting. I think I don't like spending a lot of time doing the same piece of work, which is why when I start creating, like, I might have outlines ready, but those are not active projects yet. Like, that's not something I'm working on right now. But once I decide, okay, this is what I'm going to do, I'll have the ebook draft, the edited, proofread, everything. I'll have the cover, the sales page, everything ready within a span of 1 week. So while I don't like how long the process is, I will try to, shorten it as much as possible, just cramp it all up, work 18 hours a day and finish it over like 1 week. And also I love it being out. I love my ebooks being released. I love when people buy it. I love when people read it and say that they love it, that it helped them find a new client, that it helped them make more money, or it helped them feel better. Like, I love what comes after all that hard work. So that is why I work, because I love the outcome that comes from it. Like, it's something I want to do. I love creating ebooks. I want to do it. Just that I will try to shorten the time it takes so that I don't have to do it for, forever. That's the only thing. It's a bit, yeah, it's conflicting. Yes.
But you also take time to have fun. If people think that you are the freelancer who just stays glued to the computer all day, you're not really that person. I saw on social media the fun part of you. You post pictures of your food, your dad's food, the dog, you work out. So you have different interests. How much time you work, because I have the impression you have plenty of time to do other things too.
Yeah, most of the days I do, because I like to keep it that way. So if I try that if I have to put in too much time, I'll hire somebody else to help me out with that particular project. That's just the way I like to keep it, because I have had the time during college where I've worked, I've been to college for hours and hours a day, and then I've come back and I stayed up till 3 a.m. working, and then I've again left for college at like 7 in the morning. And it's not, again, it's overwhelming. It's not a sustainable thing. So I think once I was doing well, once I had a consistent, like, I knew what I was doing, I decided that I will do this well, but I cannot give up on the other things that I need to do to keep me sane and to, feel alive, feel like a human being, which is why I work about 5 hours a day, I would say, sometimes lesser. Maybe a couple of days a week, it'll be more, it'll be about 10 hours, but the 5 hours is not counting my time on social media. So if you take social media, it's probably like 8 to 9 hours a day. And the only problem as such is that there is never any time to shut down, really. So although I'm not working right now, I'm probably thinking about, okay, what else could I do for my client, or what else could I post about tomorrow? Okay, I need to follow up on that email tomorrow. I need to, I need to get this done tomorrow. So I think that is the difficult part, like not working inside my own head, even though I'm done with work, like laptop wise. I think that's difficult. That's something I'm trying to learn to not do. Yeah.
To release when work is done, to move on. Yes. What's the mindset that an entrepreneur or a freelancer needs to have in order to be successful?
I think there's so many things, and it keeps evolving based on every milestone you hit. It could be career wise, like in terms of finance, or like income you make, or the number of teammates you have, or how many clients you're working with. It keeps changing. But a few things would be self belief every single day. Just even when you get a rejection from a client, you might have another call like 5 minutes later. So you have to have that self belief that you can do it the next time. It's okay, what's gone is gone. So self belief, being able to move on again, because rejections are like an everyday thing. It's, when you're applying for a job, you might have, let's say, 3 months of rejections, but once you get a job, you're not facing rejection until the next time you look for a job. Whereas with freelancing, it's like every single day you talk to someone, you have a chance of hearing no. So that can, especially for somebody who's new to it, it can be very demotivating, and it can make you want to not do it at all as well. So have that sort of ability to move on, physically, mentally, from that particular thing. And also have goals, but don't let those goals be like limiting factors. So if your goal is, let's say, to hit 5K a month, and once you hit 5K, you know that you can do more, and it won't take much to do more. If you take one or two more steps, you can hit, like, let's say, 8K a month. Just because your goal was 5K doesn't mean you have to stick to it. Like, don't let it become a limiting barrier for you, right? It's okay if you're comfortable with that. If you don't want more workload and everything, that's fine. But just don't think that that's where you're supposed to stop because you achieved your goal soon. So those would be a few mindsets that I had to overcome. So I always say that, start with these, I guess.
What would you say about the imposter syndrome? Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe can I ask so much for my services? Maybe I don't provide as much value. What would you say to that?
I would say, especially in terms of pricing, if you think that, why would somebody pay me, let's say, $1,000 a month for this? The best thing you can do is actually tell someone you charge $1,000, get them to hire you, and then that, that fear and that imposter syndrome goes away, because you realize that somebody did hire you for, somebody paid you that amount, you were worthy of that amount, what you offer is of value, your time is worth that much, your value, your effort is worth that much. So I think you just need to find one person who can say yes to you in whatever capacity that you have that imposter syndrome. If you have an imposter syndrome about creating content, you just create content every single day for a month and see how it works out. And I think even if you don't get a lot of engagement, you'll realize that, okay, it's still what makes me happy. It's still something that I would love to do. It's still getting me, let's say, clients, if not engagement, or it's getting me, starting a conversation with people that are good friends now, whatever that may be. So whatever scares you, whatever you feel you are not capable of doing or not really good at, just do it and do a bit more of it. And I think you will get confidence with that practice and, time. So just give yourself some time.
Wonderful. One thing that before starting on Twitter, I was thinking, on Twitter, there's some people talking and everybody's showing off. I did this much per month, or I achieved these physical goals, or whatever. You know how they say on Twitter, flexing. And and it seemed a little bit male dominated, and everybody showing off. But then Jose Rosado, who we both know, know, and he is a big account on Twitter. He provides services to so many people, and he's a very good mentor to, especially to you, but to me too. And he introduced me to this community online, and I was surprised just reaching out to people how nice people responded to me. I've never had a bad encounter on Twitter. You know, social media usually like stay away from people, but I've always had good encounters. People help me, and I'm not sure, is it the community that Jose created, or that's how it is, the whole community? Although I reached out to people outside the community that Jose introduced me to, and everybody's been supportive. What would you say?
I think people are mostly good and people are mostly supportive, but just the nature of social media, there will still always be people who pull you down. And these will be strangers, like who have zero consequence to your life anyway. I've had my fair share of that, and I've learned it the hard way to not pay attention to them, to not, let them face what I'm doing. But I think, the kind of community Jose has built is because of the kind of person he is as well. He does not allow people to dismiss him, to disrespect him, to pull him down like that. He does not cultivate that kind of energy or that kind of community at all, anywhere on any of his platforms. I've conversed with him a lot, and I know that I've seen that in the way he speaks and the way, like, whatever he's overcome, that he does not let things stop him or hold him back. And I think that attitude is necessary. So whenever you are building any community online, if you want it also to be a good one for others, so let's say, when you joined the community, when I joined, we found people like us because, again, Jose cultivates that, and he will not allow anybody to suck that energy out of him that he has, that is of a good community, of a supportive community. So I think you can plan that and you can do that. So as long as you have a good energy and vibe through the content you create, through who you give your energy to, like who you respond to, who you really spend time thinking about, what kind of comments really affect you, you do have some kind of control. um, so yeah, I'm glad that we both found each other and through Jose, and I'm glad that we've found so much support. And it's easier to focus on the support when so much of it comes in compared to, the hate. So I think, yeah, there is definitely a lot to a lot of good things you can expect from social media as well.
Yes. So, any plans for you to create a community like Danco, who is another huge account on Twitter, and he's also focused not only on helping people building their own businesses but mindset as well. Master Art of Purpose, I think, has a mastermind class. Any plans for you to branch out in building communities to help people support their mindset? I am being a life coach and mindset coach. I'm in love with building your mindset, which is the basis of what you want to achieve in business or in anything else. Otherwise, you sabotage yourself. So I love these communities that focus not only on the business side but also on the mindset side, building habits. Any plans for you to branch into that area?
I would probably pick up these topics in, like, let's say, an ebook or a course. I find communities at this point a bit too demanding for me. So there's a lot of live engagement, there's keeping up with questions, there's updating of content, there's regular meets and everything. It's I tried it with a Telegram group once that was free, but it's just not something that I could keep up with, or that that I would want to invest my time in right now. So you can expect something similar in a different capacity, maybe like a video or a course or an ebook, but probably not like a live engaging community, not anytime soon.
right now. You mentioned a few weeks ago that you have some big announcement coming up soon. Are you there yet to make the big announcement, or not
Yes,
yet?
I am working on a few things, and one of those announcements is that I'm working on an ebook with a creator that I really, really love. He's big on Twitter. So I'm not so I'm just waiting for that ebook to come out because I think it's going to be a good one. And creating something with someone I have basically been a fangirl of is very exciting. So hopefully a couple of weeks more and then that'll be out. Yeah.
I cannot wait. What do you think is the potential of making money online? It seems at a first glance that this space is very crowded. Every time you go on Instagram or another space, somebody's trying to sell you something, is promoting something. What is your impression? What is the potential of online, building a career online?
I think there's so many options because one of the ways is being a creator. So you don't have to really work with clients, but you're creating content. Let's say YouTubers are one of the well-known creator careers that have worked out for a lot of people. So you create content, you build an audience, and then you can probably, instead of working with clients, you probably sell merchandise, you sell premium content. Really big creators also get, let's say into a Netflix web series or something. So that's how they're getting more opportunities. So you could be a creator, you could be somebody who's freelancing, of course. You could have your own course, you could teach something even if you're not working one-on-one with service clients. So I think there's just multiple ways to make money as such. You could sell an info product, sell your time in terms of services. You could sell a physical product, you could start a business. So the opportunities are many, and the best part is you can do multiple things at the same time as well. So I'm doing a service-based business, I'm also selling info products, I'm also doing collaborations with different brands and companies in terms of content creation, and then there are a few more things that are in the pipeline. So yeah, I just like the fact that you don't even have to stick to one form of income. You can keep changing and keep adding on what ways you want to monetize your social media.
Oh, it all starts from building your personal brand. And
Yes.
then once people gain trust in your authority and your authenticity, um, so once you gain the trust of that community, you can start offering more services and paid services
Mhm.
because you offer more and more value to them, right? This will be the business model. And
Yes.
by the way, because I was following you now, I use LifeSum.
Okay. Yeah.
Like in January, I was like, okay, I have to do something to get my nutrition under control, count my calories after the holidays. I saw your post. I got on LifeSum,
That's nice.
and I used the also the Twitter platform that you recommended to schedule tweets. I forgot the name.
Very. Yes.
Fire Reach, yes. I used it for a while, but then I wanted to try other things.
Mm.
But yeah, this is the power of trust of people, that you are impressed by, they mean what they say. So I wanted to try all these things. Um, but it all starts from building a personal brand on these platforms, and I so there is space for a lot of people to still make a lot of money. You would say it's not a saturated platform. You would say that this is the way of the future, and we're at the beginning of people moving into the online space and working on project base. So what I see a lot on Twitter, especially, people hire each other for jobs from Twitter, and they don't care about their resume. They don't ask for, titles, or where they went to the university. As project based, I had a discussion with someone and they were saying, yeah, but how much money can you make like that? Is it something, can you make more than what a job is offering? Plus, a job is offering benefits in terms of health insurance and other things. What percentage of people you say that are online and doing this type of work actually make money to sustain their a good lifestyle? Do you have an idea what is the percentage? Or
I don't have, like, I've never looked into the percentage. Um, but based on the conversations I have on Instagram, so my audience is Indian, so I can speak in that context. A lot of my audience is young. They are people who have probably just started college, or they're probably around, like, let's say 18 to 22 or 25. That's the range most of them are in. And a lot of them have started freelancing. And in the Indian capacity of earning, they have exceeded their own expectations. They are like, they can, not everyone, of course, not all of them, but I'm surprised by some people who've messaged me saying, I just followed your free content and I made about like 800 or $1,000 a month. And for a lot of people, actually, that is their entire family's monthly income together. So them making that amount of money in probably like the first 3 months of freelancing, when they are 18, is a huge relief for families, is a huge relief for themselves, because it's not just about trying to build a better lifestyle. For a lot of people, especially with the way the COVID wave hit India, this was like, it's life-changing money. So I love seeing that anybody who's young, who's taking action, is able to hit those numbers and is able to say, I contributed to my family's income, or that, I was able to do this for them. I was able to pay my own college fees. I was able to, pay my own rent. I like seeing that kind of progress. So whatever, um, in that view, I think, yes, a lot of people can do it, especially you can at least make more than a job would ideally give you when you're a fresh graduate. But how you keep it sustainable in the long run, that's the main question. Because first 2 3 years it can be easy, because you have that energy, and that growth is fast, right? You can go from 0 to 1K fast, and you can go from 1K to 5K fast. But then after that, let's say you hit 100K, going from 100K to 150K is going to be a much slower process for most people. And because of that, you'll feel like you're always stuck at 100K, but that's not the case. Now this is a bigger number, so it's going to take more time. But by the percentage wise, you might feel stuck that, oh, I'm at the same number, I've not gone up or down. So it depends on how sustainable you are able to make it. But I love that, there's so much potential, and that anybody of any age is able to do it. So yeah, I hope more people can try it out and see if that's something they're able to, do in the long term.
yes, a lot of people want to escape the 9 to 5 uh, and look at alternatives and are not sure if making money online is sustainable. So
Yeah.
I guess you have to try and see. And it's a different lifestyle, if different way of working, which might not suit everyone. Have you thought about your next vacation or not yet?
Not yet. My sister's in her crucial year of schooling with her exams. So we are waiting for her to be done with that. And then we'll probably plan for something. But yeah, I'm hoping that this summer I'm hoping I will be able to fly to college, to Dublin, so that I can get my degree certificate, because I haven't got that yet. I want to do the convocation, the cap throwing ceremony. So I just kept deferring. I was like, I don't want it. I will come and I will take it. Like, I don't want the online thing. So yeah, that's, fingers crossed that happens this summer. Yeah, that's the plan.
Are you going to travel in Ireland with that occasion? Are you going to go around in Ireland, in Europe?
Yeah, I do plan to do that. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Like, if I go for my graduation, yes, because I spent 50% of my college time in lockdown. So I didn't get to travel. I didn't get to see how beautiful Ireland is. Although it's one of the most beautiful places on earth, I was not able to travel at all. So yeah, I need to go back, definitely.
I saw that post on social media how you came back in style from when you graduated from college. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I think you're referring to the business class post, right? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the first time I booked a business class ticket, and it was so cool. Like, they treat you like royalty. You don't have to wait in a queue, you get all the best food. And I remember, like, I was feeling sick, I was very nauseous during the whole flight. So the attendant kept coming every few like every hour or so, and just asking me, do you need anything? Or, can I get you something to drink, can I get you something to eat now? And I didn't eat the whole flight, so I just asked them if they could, like, a couple of, like, 30 minutes maybe before landing. They usually don't serve food, but I just asked them, okay, can I get something now, I'm hungry? And they still got me a fruit platter, although they're not supposed to at the time. So I just, I like those really small gestures that show the quality of service that that you have. And I love that experience. Like for about 14 hours I was royalty, and I was like, okay, this is nice, this is great. So yeah, it's a good experience, definitely.
What would you say the role of your parents play into your where you are now?
I think they did everything that needed to be done, and beyond, because um all the business advice has come from them, and I realize that they know me so well, so they know where I need a break, they know when I need to push myself harder, they know when I'm actually strategizing versus when I'm just getting lazy. And they can identify all those moments, and just encourage me, and not even encourage me, basically just scold me into being my best self. So that's important. And yeah, like, my dad keeps asking me, okay, when's your next ebook coming out? Every day, like, he asks me, okay, where are you along with your ebook? So I write them half the time just so that he stops asking that question, but then he moves on to the next one. And my mom just asked me, oh, you didn't post on Instagram today, where's your reel? So there's this constant, like, that consistency comes from this, both of them saying something all the time about me doing something. And I don't mind, by the way. I prefer it. It shows they care, it shows that they are attentive. They watch every single interview. They sometimes awkwardly do it while I'm sitting next to them. I don't like it, because I feel like in interviews I sound like so smart and well put together and composed, and then they hear me and they know me, like, they know my lazy side. So I just feel embarrassed that why are they, like, listen to it, but listen to it in your personal space. So yeah, so, like, we're a very close family. So yeah, I couldn't have seen it any other way. I think that was expected of them to be so involved, and I love it. Yeah.
It seems they are your biggest cheerleaders
Oh
and
yes, definitely. Like, they didn't even think twice when I said I wanted not do medicine. They didn't think twice when I talked about freelancing. When I said, I mean, I was literally, so when I was in Dublin, the lockdown was still on, and I just started working out. So my parents have been working out since forever. So I used to just video call them, and my dad or my mom, whoever's free at the time, would train me on video call for like 30-45 minutes. And this time last year, about Jan last year, we were on one of these training sessions, and I was just at my rest. I was just sitting for some time, and I was like, I don't want to do another year of college. And my dad is like, okay, what are you thinking? And I said, no, I think there's an option that I can do something and I'll leave early. I might get a certificate, maybe I won't, but I just don't want to spend another year doing this. I want to focus on my business. This is in middle of a workout during a 2-minute rest period, and there was no conversation. My dad literally said, okay, email them and ask them tomorrow if you can do it. That's it. That was the entire conversation. And then after the workout we had a chat about what would be the next plan, then where would I go, what would I do. But the fact that they've literally said the words okay to everything that I've, made, like these big decisions I've made. I don't know what else I could have expected from them. So yeah.
I see. Yeah, they are the dream parents, very supportive, very. I hope I'll be like that all the time with my daughter. Sometimes I want to jump in, fix things, and okay, take us. Well, she's 8, mind you, but
Wow, fine. So
I
much
have.
time.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, but that's so important. They support you and not their dreams of what you
Mhm.
um what you should do. So that's so important.
It is.
Well, Shreya, thank you so much for this wonderful conversation. It was so refreshing. Thank you so much for coming on my channel. And I hope my viewers will be inspired and take the road of giving, social media a try and put themselves out there. So many people have are just shy to put themselves out there. They're what they can create, what they can build. So social media has definitely a good side of it, has a huge potential for so many people. So thank you so much for
Thank
today.
you so much. This was such a good conversation. It's almost 11, like 11 p.m. here, but I have so much energy talking to you. So thank you so much for that.
Thank